Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So, good morning to all dear students. So, today we are going to start the first class of transition metal chemistry. जैसे कि हमने मॉर्निंग में भी डिस्कस किया था. So, in today's class we actually looked at the introduction part. तो आज यहाँ पे हम बस introduction देखेंगे about the transition metal chemistry. So, transition elements. Now, the transition elements, as the word suggests us, transition. What do you mean with the transition and why they are called as the transition elements? इसके लिए हम क्या कर लेते हैं? It is better that we must have periodic table in our mind. So, in order to understand the definition, let us look at the periodic table. So, I am bringing the periodic table here. तो आप स्क्रीन में देख सकते हैं, this is your periodic table. Fine. Now periodic table के, this is the left side of the periodic table. You can see this hydrogen. So now this is called as the group, hydrogen group, downwards. And this is another, it starts from the beryllium. So this and this group, it constitutes the S block. So this is your S block, this one. So these two groups, this is called as alkali earth metal. So this group includes the alkali earth metals. Leaving hydrogen, hydrogen इसमें नहीं आता है. So it's basically lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium and francium. And then we have beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium and radium. So this group is called as alkaline earth metals. Acha. Now both constitute the S block. So this is your S block. Now इसके depth में नहीं जाऊंगा. Why it's called S block? Because उसमें जो last electron है that enters in the S subshell. Acha. What is their main peculiar property is that they lose the electron very easily. That means they are electropositive. अब आते हैं दूसरे extreme पे. तो this is called as the left side of the periodic table. Now अगर आप right side में देखिए यहाँ पे, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So there are 6 groups. Now these 6 groups, they constitute the P block. So these are the P block. So these are the P block elements. 1 group, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So this is the P block elements. This is called as the boron family because इसके top पे boron है. This is called carbon family, nitrogen family, oxygen family, fluorine and helium. Helium भी इसमें नहीं आता है, but then it has the properties which match with the rest of the elements. They are called as the noble gases also. These are called inert gases also, and these are called as the halogens. So and these also have the names. For example, these are called as pinacogens, nitrogen family, and then these are chalcogens and so on. अच्छा, अब इनकी property ये है that they have the tendency to gain the electrons, to attract the electrons towards itself. So these elements in these blocks, in this P block, having 6 groups, तो इनकी property ये है that they don't lose the electrons, rather they will always prefer to gain the electrons. So they are electronegative. So that means if you move from left to right in the periodic table from this side to this side, the electronegativity increases. They are highly electronegative and these are highly electropositive. That means they are metallic in character, and these P block elements, they are non-metals. Now इन दो के बीच में आप यहाँ देख सकते हो group 3 to group 12. You can see group 3. This is your group number 12. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 elements in this period. So horizontally we called it period. Starts from scandium. Then another from yttrium. Then next one, this is lanthanum. And next one, it's this is your actinium. तो ये 4 periods आते हैं और each period के they have one. In 4 periods में how many groups we have? 10 groups. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Now these elements, 10 groups, 4 periods. Now these constitute the transition elements. So these are the transition elements. So ये है basically हमारा syllabus, but as this level, the elementary level, हम थोड़ा सा intermediate पे आते हैं. So our syllabus says that we'll be dealing more with this series, or this row, scandium. It starts from scandium and it ends up with zinc. So this is first transition series, this is called as second transition series, this is called as a third transition series, and this is called as the fourth transition series. तो 4 transition series है जो हमारा periodic table है, इसमें 4 transition series है. Now so ये जो transition elements है, they are between the electropositive S block and electronegative P block. इसका मतलब है when you move from scandium to zinc, तो that means you are moving from electropositive to electronegative. तो ये जो elements है सारे के सारे, they are metals, but इनका metallic character जो है it is less than the alkali and alkaline earth metals. So transition elements are metals, but then their metallic character is comparatively less as compared to this S block. इनकी properties में the properties vary when you move from the left to the right. So since the properties they vary from left to right, properties change from electropositive to electronegative. They change from more metallic character to the less metallic character when you move from left to right. So that's why they are called as transition elements. There's a transition in the properties once you move from left to the right in these these transition elements. So these transition elements उनको कहा जाता है D block also. So another name for these transition elements is the D block elements. ठीक, so they are called D block. अगर आप उनकी electronic configuration लिखेंगे, now electronic configuration हमारा एक topic है, so I will not be dealing with in this class. So basically when you move from scandium to zinc, or you move from this element to this element, or from this to this, similarly from this to this, तो आप देखेंगे that you are adding the electron in the d subshell. Now d subshell में हमारे पास we have how many orbitals? 5 orbitals in the d subshell. So when you move from left to right, you will see that आपका जो d subshell है इसमें 5 orbitals, they are never filled. वो always रहती हैं, they are either half filled or they are partially filled. तो basically transition elements, they can be defined as those elements which have incompletely filled d orbitals. So this is important. They have incompletely filled d orbitals. So and their properties undergo the transition. They vary once you move from left to right. So these are the basic things about the transition elements. These are also called as the D block elements. अब इस केस में जो इलेक्ट्रॉन की फिलिंग स्टार्ट होती है, that starts from here. इसमें इलेक्ट्रॉन enters in the 3D subshell. That's why it's called as a 3D transition series. इस केस में इलेक्ट्रॉन enters in the 4D subshell. So this is called as a 4D transition series. इस केस में इलेक्ट्रॉन जो है वो एंटर हो जाते हैं in the 5D subshell. It's called a 5D series. While as in this case, the electron that enters into the 6D subshell, so we called as 6D series. So we have 3D series, 4D series, 5D series and 6D series. So our syllabus जो है, that is जो major portion जो होता है, usually जो exams में पूछा जाता है, whether it's any competitive exam or it's any theory exam in B.Sc or M.Sc, so usually this is the series which is asked, क्योंकि इसमें ज़्यादा research बहुत हुई है, इसमें data बहुत available है. So that is why, and our syllabus also deals with this 3D series, the properties of this 3D series. Properties like, for example, आपके syllabus में will be dealing with the electronic configuration number 1, then the valency number 2, color of the series, magnetic properties, complex formation and oxidation states. तो ये series हम इन पूरे classes में इस पूरी lecture series में will be talking about. Now और एक point यहाँ पे before we'll close this introduction. In this transition series, if you look here, now the element starts with this element. This is your lanthanum, and in this case this is actinium. Now lanthanum और hafnium के बीच में you see he says that 57 to 71. Basically यहाँ पे we have 14 elements in between this and this. So 14 elements between lanthanum and hafnium, और यहाँ पे between actinium and this rutherfordium यहाँ पे भी 14 elements है. So the 14 and 14 elements यहाँ से they have been taken out because उनकी property different है and they have been placed at the bottom of the periodic table. यहाँ पे देख लीजिए 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 14 15. So lanthanum के बाद these are 14 elements. Actinium के बाद there are 14 elements. So these they have been taken out from here. So they are basically called as the inner transition elements. And since they यहाँ पे ये जो 14 elements are they are following lanthanum, they are called as lanthanides, and these one they are following the actinium, they are called as actinides. So these are called inner transition elements. इस केस में when you move from left to right, आपका जो इलेक्ट्रॉन ऐड हो जाता है that adds in the F subshell. That's why they are called as F block elements. Fine. So this is your F block 1 series. This is your second F block series called as lanthanides and actinides. So this is all about the basics of the transition elements. अगर हम उनकी definition पढ़ ली तो we can simply say that so the transition elements they have incompletely or partially filled the orbitals, and they have properties in between the electropositive S block and electronegative P block elements, and they are metals even though their metallic character is less than the S block elements. And in this case even though जो outermost shell होती है, for example I want to show you this last point. Now usually जब हम बात करते हैं एटम की, then classical model में this is our nucleus at the center, then these are the energy levels. Energy levels इनको हम designate करते हैं n से, called as principal quantum number. N is equal to 1, n is equal to 2, n is equal to 3, n is equal to 4. अब मैं 4 तक ही दिखाऊंगा. N is equal to 1 means it's called as the K shell. Now n is equal to 2, it's called as L shell. N is equal to 3, it's called as M. N is equal to 4, it's called as N shell, or principal energy level. Now within each shell we have the subshells. For example, within K will be having the subshells, L will be having the subshells, within M हमारे पास subshells होंगी वहाँ पे, और N की यहाँ भी subshells. Subshells are designated by S, P, T and F. S means when the azimuthal quantum number is 0. When it is 1, it's called a P subshell. When it is 2, it's called as a D subshell. And when it is 3, it's called as a F subshell. Now, S के case में within the subshells we have small regions where the probability of finding electrons maximum उनको बोला जाता है orbitals. So within each, so I will show it like this. Let us say these are subshells for understanding. This is the rough diagram I am trying to make you to understand the filling of electrons in the transition elements. ऐसा होता नहीं, but I am just showing it. Shaded portion means subshells. So within each subshell there are regions where the probability of finding electrons is maximum. They are called orbitals. So within subshells we have orbitals present. अब s सबशेल के अंदर ऑर्बिटल्स होता है only one. p में we have 3 orbitals designated as px, py and pz. d सबशेल के अंदर we have 5 orbitals. ये ज़्यादा important है हमारे टॉपिक के अकॉर्डिंग. So the orbitals are dxy, dyz and dzx. This is one set of orbitals. Another set dx square minus y square. ये हम आगे पढ़ेंगे in depth. And dz square. And f subshell has 14 orbitals. That means we know one orbital can accommodate 2 electrons. तो इसमें 2 electrons आ जाएंगे total. इसमें 6 electrons, इसमें 10 and then 14, 28 electrons. Now, ideally क्या होता है कि the electrons जो है they will be first occupy here, then here, then here, then here, increasing order of energy as per the above principle. लेकिन in case of transition elements, let us say कि ये हो गया outermost principal energy level. Electrons will add here. Outermost होता है for example 3s for example or 4s. This is the outermost energy level. Electrons add हो जाते हैं यहाँ पे. This is 3d. So in case of 3d transition series, electrons यहाँ पे add हो जाते हैं when you move from left to right. So that's why it's called as a 3d. What you say is a 3d transition series. So 4d के केस में electrons will add means उसमें electrons will further move in. So that means electrons are basically we are filling the electrons here in case of 3d transition series. In case of 4d, then this will be 4d means its radius will be more, the size will be more, so the 4d will be here. Likely in case of 5d series, size will be here. So it depends on the principal quantum number. There will be according to the size of the energy level or size of the orbital. So this is all about the basics of the basic understanding and basic definition of transition elements, which involve gradual filling of electrons in the d orbitals once you move from scandium to zinc and other transit series. They have partially filled d orbitals, or they have I should say incompletely filled d orbitals, and their properties are between s and p block, that is from between metallic and non-metallic block. But these elements, they are metals, they behave like metals and they have the properties of metals. तो आज की क्लास में इतना ही है. तो नेक्स्ट क्लास विल टॉक अबाउट द प्रॉपर्टीज एंड द अदर थिंग्स. सो दिस इज ऑल फॉर द डे. अगर आपके पास कोई भी क्वेश्चन है, यू कैन राइट डाउन इन द कमेंट्स. आप मैसेज भी भेज सकते हैं पर्सनल नंबर पे जो आपके पास है. सो दिस इज ऑल फ्रॉम द ट्रांजिशन मेटल केमिस्ट्री.